Hey, this is Voxite, and in this video I will be covering the 3D graphics of this project. So here I am inside the project file for the 3D graphics, and let's take a look at our folders here. So we have 1 opener, 2 transition, and 3 background. Alright, so let's start with also there's a folder here for other, which are assets, precoms, and solids, but you really don't need to worry about this folder and just work with the first 3. So let's go inside the first folder here, opener, and drop down this folder, and here you can see we have a holders folder and a render folder. Alright, so inside the render folder there will be an opener comp, and if I double click this will be the composition that will pop up. And let's go ahead and let's start changing some of these holders, and I will set the resolution to maybe third, just so it loads faster and will speed up this tutorial. Alright, so let's choose a frame here and let's go inside holders and see what we have here. Under holders we have a media and a text folder, and for media we have 9 media holders. So these will be the holders where you will place your images or videos. So for example, let's start with the beginning of our composition here, and here we will have media holder 1 and 2. And before I replace these medias, let's actually import our files. And here I have a folder with a bunch of stock photos, which I will be using as an example. So I'm just gonna grab all of these and just simply drag them inside this project window here, and this will import all of our files. Alright, so if I step inside media holder 1, for example, here you will have a holder pre-comp layer. Go ahead, grab this layer and press delete, and then simply drag and drop your imported media inside the composition or the timeline over here. Alright, so here you can select your layer, do some adjustments, and if I go back inside my opener comp, so my render comp, you can also access it by pressing double clicking this comp here. Alright, so you can see it updating here, and basically you go through all of these and you do the same thing. Grab the layer, delete, drop your new layer, and if you go inside opener you can see them updated. Alright, so just scroll through your timeline and start changing all of these in order, and you can go ahead and even place your footage or photo on top of the holder pre-comp, and you can see that if we go back this will update. So you will have to go through all of these 9 media holders to edit. There will also be, you can also change, for example, if I choose this frame, you can see that there are 2 text elements here. Alright, and you can also change these, and these are also in order of appearance. So end title will be the title at the end, and we will take a look about that in a second. So text holder 1, you can go ahead and change the text here. So let's see, different headline, and you will need to rearrange and reformat your text accordingly. And there's another text for this paragraph here, and you can see that if I select this second layer, so the paragraph, and press U, there is some keyframe information which animates the text. So if you want to keep this animation, you will need to double click this text and edit it like so, if you choose so. Alright, so just keep in mind that you have to edit the existing text and not delete the layer and make a new text layer. Alright, so now if I go back, let's take a look. Take a look at the frame here. Alright, so here you can see it updating, different headline, and basically all of these are exactly the same. Alright, so after you change these, you can go to your ending frame here, and where it says world news, to change this you will need to access the end title comp. So double click this guy, and here you can simply choose whatever text you want. So let's check this. Alright, here you can see it, and of course you can use whatever font you want. And if you take a look, this layer for the end title has a ramp applied to it, and you can either choose to keep this or disable this. You can also use a logo here, so it works with everything you put inside this composition here. Alright, so that's for opener, and that's about it for openers. So let's go to transition now. For transition, we have our render composition, and this will be the comp that you will render. You can see here that we have transparency enabled. So when you render this, make sure you render with alpha transparency, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. And the only thing you will need to edit this is the transition holder. So double click here, and again you can choose whatever text you want here, or format the existing text, and this will update in the composition. And this also works with logos, of course. Alright, that's it for transition, and let's see. The way you render this is when you go to make your pre-render, right? So you select the area you want to render, go to composition, pre-render. Inside custom AV here, make sure that you choose a format which enables you to output both RGB and alpha channels. So if you by default this will be on RGB, and you will have to choose either AV, and this will give you a RGB plus alpha option. Alright, and then hit OK and export your video like that. Alright, and finally we have our tree background, and here we just have a simple background render. So this will be the composition that you will render, simply background. Alright, double click this, and inside the settings here you will see that oh, actually I've forgot to talk about the settings. Alright, so let's go back to our opener real fast. So the way you change your colors is you go inside the composition, and each composition that you render will have a settings layer. Alright, so if you go inside the effects control here at the top, and if you don't have this window showing up, you can press F3. This will bring up the effects controls, and this will give you a bunch of options for your colors. Alright, so let's start with geometry highlight, and let's choose another frame here. Right, so geometry highlight will be this highlight on these cubes, and you can change the color for this. You can see as I scroll how that changes. Alright, and geometry color will be a tint which you can give to the geometry itself. And for example, if the color is too strong, you can just increase the geometry tint. Alright, and this will desaturate the color, and you can control the color more easily, like so. Set this back to original values. Background number 1 will be the background in here in the back. You can change this and see what affects. Alright, background 2 will be the elements on top of the solid color for the background, which you can see here. Flares will be, let's take a look at another frame. Flares will be these flares here, so change the color for that. Guidelines, let's see this. Alright. Dots, more UI graphics, which you can change individually. Media holders will be these elements on top of your footage or videos. And wave 1 and 2 will be this wave here at the end, the transition towards the title. So let's change the color for this. You can also affect this as well. And second color for the wave, you can also affect that. And the end title, of course, will be the title here, which you can also affect the color for. Alright, so let's check out the transition. The transition colors and the background colors are pretty much the same. So inside the transition, you can see we have a settings layer, which you can, of course, change the color for all of these as well. Give it a second to update. Let's change this to 3rd resolution, and let's see. Alright, so you can see here the geometry highlight changing, and the rest of the colors are the same. The only thing extra here will be that you can adjust the position of this flare. So you have a vertical and horizontal position, and if you change these values, you can see how the flare moves, and this will be depending on what type of text you want to use. Alright, so you can also control that. And for our background, we have the same settings as our other ones, so you can change the geometry, for example. Give it a second. Alright, and then so on, exactly the same as the others. Alright, so that's about it for our 3D graphics, and in the next video I'll cover 2D graphics. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.